All the best to the sisters. And remember the hashtag, Stop the Stigma. Let's go back to Parliament. As we told you earlier, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry has assured the House government is increasing the supply of PPEs to security officials along Ghana's borders. Also, the minority spokesperson on education has been speaking on government's new move to reopen schools. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is our man on the ground. Joe, let's begin with the Interior Minister.
So he's been responding to questions generally on what is being done in order to keep the borders safe and avoid a situation of the importation of more cases of COVID-19 right here into the Republic of Ghana. And he's been explaining that the security agencies are stepping up patrols as part of those measures. He's been giving details of some of the cases in which foreigners tried to get into the country but were stopped or prevented from getting in, and indicating that as far as the President's directive are concerned, the borders remain closed until, whether it's about land border, whether it's about the airport or any other means of entering the country, the security agencies are adequately prepared and policing all of those areas. It's in the midst of that conversation that there were questions to him about how the security officials are adequately protected so they can do the job of preventing people from getting into the country. And he said that efforts are ongoing to ensure that even when it comes to protective equipment that are being produced locally, enough numbers of those will be provided for the security people so they're able to keep the country's borders safe.
So, Joseph, what else has been happening on the floor of Parliament today?
Right here in Parliament, the Minister for Interior, apart from him responding to the questions, there's also been a statement on the celebration of World Hypertension Day by the Deputy Health Minister, Dr. Bernard Okoboy. And he's been commenting on how, because of the COVID-19 situation, they've seen incidents where a lot of those who have passed on as a result of COVID-19 have had various underlying conditions, including hypertension. So he says the celebration of a day like that is even more important today in the light of COVID-19, and virtually drums home the need for all Ghanaians to keep healthy and do things that will not make them fall prey to diseases like hypertension. Well, apart from that, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Chiremanten, has also been responding to questions on the floor of Parliament, specifically on the issue of the Commander Sugar Factory. And he says once the situation with the closure of the borders are actually out of the way, we will see a situation where a new company that's actually coming in, AgroPark Ghana Limited, they have technical expertise from India that they are working with. They've not been able to come in because of the lockdown and also the closure of the border as a result of COVID-19. Government has identified that particular firm as the strategic investor, which is coming to revive the Commander Sugar Factory, and they'll be investing about $3 million every year over a period of 15 years. And so once the nation's borders are opened, they will come in and help revive the Commander Sugar Factory so they can
Joe,
provide the jobs.
What
and the
are these projects, Joseph, and where are they?
Daniel, can you say that again for me?
What are the projects and where are they?
The Commander Sugar Factory project is the project that the minister has been responding to questions on. And he says that the investors who would come help with the project it's a Ghanaian-based company, but their partners are in India. So those are the set technical expertise from India that they are waiting to come in once the border reopens, so that then they can come revive the Commander Sugar Factory.
Right. Now, you told us earlier how the minority spokesperson on education, Peter Kotwe, says that government's decision to let final year students return to school for a period of 3 months will endanger them. Can you shed some more light on that?
Peter Nochu has been commenting generally on government's decision to allow for final years to come back to school. He says that's something that they agree with, that the final year students need to get back to school. But his only concern is that when you look at the timetable, as has been outlined by the Minister for Education, they will be in school for a period of 5 weeks, after which they will write exam for a period of 6 weeks. For him, that's 11 weeks running into 12 weeks, almost a whole term. And for him, that's too long a duration. He makes the point that it was left to just about 2 weeks in order for them to actually get back to school and all. And so then the expectation was that they would have continued with that final 2-week duration rather than for them to reopen and then stay on for a period of 11 weeks. And so he thinks them staying in for an extended period is actually what will endanger them, and that it should just have been a limited 2-week period that they could just have stayed in and then gone ahead and gone back home. And so he's asking government to be careful with the extended duration that they would remain on.
Did he get a response? Has there been a response to him?
Not exactly. It's not an issue that has actually come up for conversation right here on the floor. It's on the precincts that he made that point, except that, as we've heard the Education Ministry officials repeatedly make the point, the necessary measures are being put in place so that then the academic calendar is not disrupted to any extent.
Thank you so much, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, for joining us in Parliament with those details. And on our Stop the Stigma campaign today, we hear from the Kontihima of Ogwa traditional area, who warns of the deadly nature of stigmatization.